This is test number 1 for the main scoring system. So if we go to create new match, then to test our erroneous data, we'll enter a string into match ID. Okay, now just pick a regular team. Error has occurred. We'll also enter a team that is not within Great Broughton's league and use a normal match ID. Team is not entered, so that works for validation, and then we will use our typical data approach and select the date specified in the test plan, the 7th of February, with a match ID of 10 against Ingleby Greenhow, and the match is created, and this takes on to the next form. Then if we check the match table, show table data, there should be a game of a match ID of 10, 7th of February against Ingleby Greenhow. The result is null because we have not yet scored the game, so the result has not yet been decided. Test number 2 is to test that the team being selected to bat first is assigned correctly, as these variables, Broughton bat first and Broughton bat, are important to the rest of the programme. So if we just use a simple user interface, we'll select Great Broughton to bat first, step through the right event. As we can see, both Broughton bat first is true and Broughton bat is equal to true there, so that works. This is test number 3 to test that the Broughton Players combo box is being correctly populated from the Broughton Players table with all the surnames stored in here. So if we check, those are all the players that are available to play for Great Broughton. Then Broughton Players, if you look back at the combo box, you'll see that those are the same players that are stored in the database, so that is correctly working. Test number 5 is to test two things. Sorry, this is test number 4. Test number 4 is to test two things. One, that a player's personal ID in Broughton Players Stats can be stored in Match Player Stats with the match ID of the game they are participating in, which in this case is 10. So, and it is also to test that a player is stored, their surname is stored in this B players array, which is declared from a record structure, and then a surname is stored within that field of the array. So this is done by selecting a player. So we'll go with the typical data approach first. So we select Smith. This is Anthony Smith. I should probably encode surnames into the SQL retrieval of the names as well. So Smith, add, this is for Broughton's home players. This SQL statement will hopefully get the player's personal ID and the match ID. This procedure here that it takes us to, this just parameterizes the SQL connection. And then also we can see here, so 0, so as seen in the typical data outcome in the test plan, the B player 0 should be equal to Smith. So if we add a watch, B players 0 surname is equal to Smith. So that has worked. Step through the statement again. Now if we check match player stats, there should be a ID of 1 and an ID of 10, which there is. That has just been entered there. So that has worked successfully. Test number 5 is to test that the away players can also be entered into A players, their own array, into their surname field, just the same as we saw the last time. So if we see Harding, Harding is the first player declared on the test intro. So we add Harding, step through, then A players 0, we'll add a watch. A players with the value of 0 should be equal to Harding, which it is. So that test is also successful. We then need to test the erroneous data for number 5 by entering the integer, so that users aren't entering false surnames, because obviously they have to be manually entered, so they can't enter anything they want. So we'll just enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and this shouldn't be allowed to happen, but it has gone through, so that is now stored within the A players array, so that may need to be looked at and altered. So that erroneous data test has failed. Test number 6 is to test that all the players selected for Broughton, so there should be 11, are able to be successfully entered into these batsman combo boxes, because Broughton are batting first, as seen in the test intro, and the away players all selected. Sorry, no, that's test number 7. So I'll just pause the video while I select the rest of these players. So we have 9 players selected here. A cricket team needs 11 players. So to test our extreme boundary data, we're going to try and successfully complete the entry of the team with only 10 players, which shouldn't be allowed to work. The successful entry of a team will also mean these being successfully entered into these combo boxes here, which we do not want to work. So we just press complete here. That should maybe be made more clear to the user. Press complete with only 10 players, and then they should be able to appear in there. So step through that. You must select 11, so that's being validated. That isn't able to happen. And then we'll try doing it with 12 players also. So this claims that I've already selected this player, which, as you can see, I have not. I think this is because there's just a try-catch error, which assumes that there's a primary key violation for having already selected this player. If we see incomplete, I'm assuming it's because of a primary key violation, so we should probably check that after the video. I will have to restart the testing, because now I have not left an option to remove 12 players, because I did not think that was going to happen. So that's a major error. So that extreme boundary data test has failed. So this is the test after having been restarted, so I'll have to edit that. So we'll go with a typical data approach now, still on test number 6. So pressing complete here, that should populate both these combo boxes with all the players that have been selected, which it does. This is test number 7. We're testing same as the Broughton test, where a team can be selected and entered into batting combo boxes, only this time it's to the away combo. It's with the away players and in the bowler combo box, because the away team is bowling first, not batting. So we just need to manually enter all the players in. I will first try the extreme data, just as I did with the last one, so I'll just pause the video while I type these in. So we are first testing the extreme data, so we'll try to enter this incomplete team with only 10 players, and so if it is unsuccessful, the combo box will populate with only 10 players. So you press complete, and you must select 11 players for the away side. we will also try with 12 players for the extreme boundary data. So the last player to select is Kendrew, as you can see in the test intro. And then we will make something up, just a random string to enter as a 12 player. And that has crashed the program, so that is also a failed test for the extreme data. So this is our typical data approach for test number 7. So pressing complete should populate this combo box with all 11 players, and that should be a successful run through. So complete, and then these are able to be selected. Test number 8 is to test that the opening batsmen selected are assigned the correct batsman number, which is important to the rest of the scorebook form. So if we select as shown in the test plan test data, Summers, the 6th player selected, we'll select him as our opening batsman. So if we run through, if the test is successful, in B players brackets 5 dot bat number within the array should be equal to 1, as this is the first batsman selected. So second innings equals false. Broughton are batting first, it's true. And then we'll step through this loop. So it has been found. So B players, ladder watch. So B players for brackets 5, bat position is equal to 1. So that is successful. We will also do the same with selecting the second batsman. So as you can see, it's not based on the criteria of failed test, but I should probably remove Summers as he's already been selected, which would massively mess up the program. So you could probably put that as a fail. But for our actual criteria, we'll select Smith, add the batsman. So Smith is the first player selected, so B players bracket 0 dot bat position should be equal to 2. If we check in the watch again, this is B players 0, bat position is equal to 2, so that is also successful. So for test number 10, we're going to do the same as this with the away team and bowling. So for Harding, when selected, his ball number should be equal to 1 within the array. So we've got an A players, watch on, so 0, ball number, we'll step through this. And as you can see, ball number is equal to 1, and found is true. So that is also successful. The completion of this and pressing proceed should lead us on to the home bat scorebook, where in test number 11 you can see that the form loads the players correctly with Summers, Smith, the 2 opening batsmen in 1 and 2, and Harding, the opening bowler, in 1. And to check the actual values of this, so currently I would have to step through it first. So, but this is the value of current batsman 0, current batsman 1, and current bowler stored within the record structure.